Hi, and welcome to SVG's new sponsor welcome video. I'm Dan Daly, SVG's audio editor, and today we're here with Max Crutchfield, account director at Sports Entertainment, at APM Music. Hey, Max, how are you?
Doing great. How are you, Dan?
Fine, very good. You're in a very, very interesting and busy intersection of sports and entertainment right now. You can't do sports without music, and sometimes I wonder if you can do music without sports. What's the big challenges for production music for sports at this point?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, great question. I think there are a lot. This audience is, probably more aware than anyone what those challenges are. But yeah, a few of them are just, I think, that we're seeing just a growth in the consumption and demand of content. Just from an audience perspective, a shrinking of their attention span at the same time. So battling for attention, that's that's shrinking, growing number of people battling for attention that's shrinking. And then you also have just greater pressures, I think, on creative departments in terms of, resources are also simultaneously shrinking at the same time. So it really feels like doing more with less is a big trend, and also while also doing that, you're also needing to differentiate and battle for that attention more. So the search for ways to do that, I think, is top of mind for everyone, and hopefully, music is one of the things at the top of that list.
Absolutely. It's interesting you bring up the attention span thing. I mean, something that we've seen happen over the course of the last 5 or 6 years with music, with pop music, is that intros are almost gone at this point. If you're not at the hook in the first 5 seconds, they'll switch the stream. How are those changes to pop music, which are so important to sports at this point, whether it's hip hop, rock and roll, pop music, whatever, how are those starting to affect the way the production music is produced and arranged?
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, first, it's surprising to me still that there are quite a few managers and higher ups that it's kind of news to them that their creatives can't just use any song they hear on the radio. Right. Like, I think there's still some education there in the upper levels of management. Right. So, just the fact that they're like, oh, I can't use, a top 20 hit in this video is a surprise to many. So, the key there is then, how close, and let's face it, I mean, what you consider production music kind of stinks, and so that's where we come in, right? Like APM, I think is closest to radio quality that you could possibly get, with still having the ability to actually use it in your production and of any type going out, being distributed in any way. So there's definitely more emphasis on music as a whole. And also, as you said, just that quick pop in the very beginning, which is definitely a focus for our composers and libraries and everyone else following the trends.
Right. APM is very unique in that it's a joint venture between two of the biggest labels and music publishing operations in the planet.
Right.
That's Sony and Universal, right?
Sony and Universal, yes, sir. Three-way partnership with us and those two. So the quality is going to be there. I mean, I think combined they account for 60 or 70% of total published music. So they know a thing or two. So having that backing is definitely helpful.
Right. APM was also a pioneer in sports music with a deal that they came to with the NHL, the National Hockey League, last year to become the sole broadcast music provider for the league and for all 32 of its teams. How's that working out so far?
So far, it's working out really well. I mean, I would let the NHL, headquarters and the teams, speak more about that. I mean, but so everybody's very happy. I think it's really interesting how that kind of came about. Some of the as everyone in this audience is aware, there's been a real crackdown in terms of, DMCA copyright police and also even what they're policing, right? Like ephemeral use is something, that was kind of, they didn't pay as much attention to previously. And then now they are. So, leagues are now having to be concerned about what's playing over the loudspeaker and venue and taking that and publishing it on social. So there kind of needs to be that cohesive and holistic solution to music, right? From in stadium to what goes on social to what's being produced in the shoulder programming. And so really bringing all that together, I think is going to be increasingly more important, for every league, frankly. And, the NHL is just, they're leading the way in that regard.
Right. Sports is being distributed now through so many different portals at this point. There's broadcast portals, there's social portals, as you mentioned, there's streaming portals, there's personal mobile portals. And every time copyrighted music is exposed to and through any of those portals, there becomes the potential for some problems. That's what the complete solution that APM's talking about addresses.
Right. Yeah, that's that's one part of it, right? It's a big part of it. And then of course you have the creative side. So like there are very few things I think on planet Earth that both the legal teams and creatives probably would agree on and be happy about. And I think this is one of them that actually makes both of those very different departments pretty happy.
Quick question about genres. We've had the traditional genres for the last, let's say, since the turn of the century, where hip hop plays for basketball and the pastoral classical stuff plays for golf and the rock and roll plays for baseball. What's happening with that?
It's changed. I think it's not what you'd expect, as much as you would expect. It's there's a lot of, some of the top genres, we pull for clients like the PGA Tour and the LPGA Tour in golf, as you mentioned, are hip hop and rock. And then, and then on the other end of that, our NBA and NHL clients can use classical too. I think it's just a product of just creatives being like, getting better, constantly getting better and just not really pigeonholing themselves or their sport into one genre, but really having, the content kind of in what they're trying to achieve creatively kind of dictate what they use. And it's just been really fun to watch as a consumer as well. Just how creative they've gotten, especially over the pandemic when they had to get extra creative in the content they produced. So
that was a whole new form of audio, crowd sound. Hey man, this has been a great interview. Max Crutchfield, account director for sports entertainment at APM Music. Thanks for taking the time today and welcome aboard SPG.
Thanks, Dan. Excited about it.